Well, thanks a lot for staying with us here on Newsnight. A breakaway group of the African Transformation Movement has taken a resolution to deregister the party ahead of the elections. They've written to the IEC to make the request, and disgruntled members claim it was registered by the current leadership fraudulently. So in studio, ATM President Vuyolwethu Zungula joins me now to have this discussion. Vuyolwethu, thank you so much for joining us on Newsnight.
Thank you, Faith.
The big question, was it registered fraudulently? Because reports are saying that it was actually supposed to be the ATC, which is the African Transformation Congress, instead of the African Transformation Movement. So what's your stance on this?
We tried to register the ATC. IEC came back to us and said we cannot register ATC because of the similarities between AIC, ANC and many political parties. Then we changed the name from ATC to ATM. So there's one political party, there's no ATC that is another separate political party.
Then why do you have this breakaway faction? Because you guys are calling them almost like a rebellious, and you're trying to stop them from going in. There's a faction is saying that they want to break away from the ATM and now join the African National Congress. So clearly this issue around ATC, ATM and the registration of the political parties may not necessarily have been well received by all constituents involved.
No, there's no breakaway party. There's one individual who used to be part of the council that was responsible in assisting the ATM to be registered. All of the people that I've seen there, they're not even members of the ATM. And the person who they say they've requested to be the president of the council is not even aware of that resolution. Even that meeting, it's not a council meeting, it's not an ATM meeting, it's not an ATC meeting. So now, if you can also check, why is the person saying the ANC, they've engaged the ANC?
Who's this person?
This person, it is Vuyolwethu. He was previously the Secretary General of the Council of Messianic Churches that was working with the ATM, that in fact is working with the ATM.
So he's currently working with the ATM?
No, the council is still working with the ATM. Vuyolwethu was released from his duties to focus on his studies. He actually resigned in July last year. So as he's speaking now, he's not a member of the council. He does not have any authority to call a council meeting.
So then, when it comes to this, so there is no breakaway faction, was that what you said?
Not
no
at
member
all.
of the ATC or ATM, let's call it ATM now,
Yes.
it's registered by the IEC. No member of the ATM actually wants to leave the ATM and form and go back to the African National Congress, except for one like Wisilo, who was actually put on study leave or resigned.
Yes, because one thing that you need to note, the ATM was not a breakaway from the ANC in the first place. It was formed by concerned individuals who wanted to provide solutions to the country. So when people are now saying they want to go to the ANC and they've been engaging the ANC, the major question that needs to be asked, what is the ANC's role in all of this thing that is happening?
Are you saying that the ANC may have been maybe putting their fingers in the pot that does not belong to them?
Yes, it could be. Look, that conference, who funded the conference? This person, Buyisile, where does he get the money to stay in his hotel?
So there was a conference that was formed around looking at this ATM, ATC.
There was a gathering that is called a conference. Now, this conference, according to them, one thing that needs to be asked, firstly, what conference? Is it a council? Because a council and the ATM are two separate entities. Now, is it a conference of the ATM or ATC, or is it a conference of the council? Now, if it's a conference of the council, who was there? Are the member churches, were they present there? Or is it one individual who used to be a secretary, calling maybe his group of friends and saying it is a conference?
And are you saying that the African National Congress may have some role to play in this conference being formed?
I think so. Because, look, when he makes this statement last week, he says they've engaged the ANC.
Who in the ANC have they engaged?
I have no idea. It's something that maybe should be asked by the journalist when he's speaking as to who from the ANC, when did you start speaking to the ANC? If you were genuinely wanting to resolve this problem, did you meet with the people of the ATM internally to resolve all of those issues? Or the first thing that came into mind was the ANC?
Okay, now what do you guys stand for? Because so far what reports are saying you stand for is reports of breakaway and individuals forming conferences, and as you're saying that maybe the African National Congress may even have a role to play in it. But what do you guys stand for ahead of this? Because so far you can imagine that you're marred by scandal. But then this is not the time to have scandal, with 2 weeks or so to go before the elections.
To us, it's not a scandal. To us, it is people who are threatened and frightened by the growth of the ATM, trying everything in their power to try and destabilize the movement.
Do you think the ANC is threatened by the ATM?
Definitely.
Oh, why?
Because, look, all of these organizations that are supporting the ATM were previously ANC voters. Now, obviously, the biggest loser in these elections will be the ANC, because all of these organizations, they will no longer vote for the ANC, they'll vote for the ATM in numbers.
Okay, so you're saying that these individuals were disgruntled with the ANC, they come on board with the ATM, and you're saying the ATM can offer them something different that the African National Congress cannot offer them?
Look, the ATM, it is a people's party. It is a party formed by the concerns of the people. It is not here to play politics. It is here to provide solutions.
What kind of solutions?
Provide solutions. Firstly, we want, as the ATM was saying, the economy of the country must be owned by South Africans. We can't have South Africans being mere spectators in their own economy. We're saying let us deal with the question of crime, because we have crime that is normalized in our society. Therefore, let us deal with crime. Let us have free, compulsory, quality education. So the message that we're speaking as the ATM makes a lot of people in the country to relate with the ATM, because firstly, we're not a breakaway. Secondly, we are not in the space to compete with any political party.
And you're legally registered with the IEC.
Definitely.
And nobody's contesting that except for what you're saying, an individual, Vuyolwethu, who formed a conference.
Yes.
At that conference, there were allegations that the African National Congress may be threatened by the ATM and is trying to therefore sway voters towards the ANC.
Yes. Look, the person that was responsible for the entire process, it is myself. That's why I'm so relaxed, I'm so calm, because I know nothing will come out of this, because we did everything by the book. We got a confirmation from the IEC. And one thing that maybe the viewers must try and understand, if there was something wrong with the ATM, why 15 days before the elections? Because when you register a party, any person who feels aggrieved and wants to object is given 30 days to object to that party being registered. Now, ATM has been working, has been launching, has been on TV for a very long time. 16 days before the elections, this comes. Now, for us...
So who's to blame, the ANC?
We view this as a malicious intent by the people that are working with Mr. Vuyolwethu Zungula.
Who are those?
Remember, I don't know. The best person to answer it is Vuyolwethu Zungula, because he's the one who can tell maybe the public who funded that so-called conference, who passed all of those people to the and who was there. This conference of his, who was there and who were those people representing?
You're suspecting the ANC.
Because he said he has consulted with the ANC.
Got you. Now, we're going to leave our conversation there, Vuyolwethu, but thanks a lot for joining us this evening. Vuyolwethu Zungula there, who's joining us from the ATM, says it is in fact a legal entity by the IEC, and of course might be foul play when it comes to the destabilization, so to call, of the ATM.